There was once a man who thought he had everything figured out. He worked hard, dreamed big, and believed his effort alone would open every door. But life had other plans. One by one, the things he built began to fall apart. The job he trusted, gone. The people he loved, distant. The dreams he fought for, fading like the sun behind dark clouds. He tried to stay strong, but each failure felt heavier than the last. He prayed. Yet silence was all he heard. He cried, but no one seemed to see his tears. And in that silence, he began to question everything. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why does it seem like God forgot about me?" Days turned into weeks, and his faith, once unshakable, started to crumble. He stopped believing that better days could come. He thought his story was over, but what he didn't know was that sometimes God breaks you to rebuild you stronger. Sometimes he removes what's good to make space for what's great. Sometimes your delay is not his denial, it's his protection. One night when his spirit felt empty, he looked up at the sky. It was the same sky he'd looked at 1,000 times before. But this time something was different. The stars didn't seem like distant lights anymore. They looked like reminders, tiny whispers of hope. And deep inside his heart, he heard a voice, not loud but clear. "You are not finished yet. You are in the middle of your story, not the end." And in that moment he understood that his pain had a purpose, that his failures were lessons, not punishments, that every closed door was protection, that every fall was preparation for a greater rise. He began to move again, not fast, not perfect, but forward. He prayed, not for an easy life, but for strength to face the hard one. He started to thank God, not only for blessings, but for battles. And step by step, light began to return. He got up earlier. He smiled again. He dared to dream again because he realized that faith isn't about everything going right. Faith is believing even when everything seems wrong. The same people who once doubted him began to ask how he did it. He just smiled and said, "I didn't. God did." Because when you put your trust in God's timing, you stop rushing your destiny. You learn that rejection is redirection, that loss is often love disguised as protection, and that no matter how deep the valley, there's always light waiting on the other side. So if you're listening to this right now and you're tired, broken, or feel forgotten, this message is for you. You are not alone. You are not finished. Your failure does not define you. Your faith does. And God has not forgotten your name. The same God who turned water into wine, who lifted Joseph from the prison to the palace, who raised Lazarus from the dead, is the same God who can turn your pain into power, your weakness into wisdom, and your fall into a testimony. So don't quit now. You've cried too many tears to give up this close to your breakthrough. Your story isn't over. It's about to get good. Because the comeback is always greater than the setback, and what you thought was the end was just the beginning of something divine. Music rises and hopeful piano chords. If this message touched your heart, type Amen in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs hope today, and follow for more messages of faith, strength, and purpose, because no matter how many times you fall, with God, you can always rise again.